So Wilmer had to wait for tanks, but he should be headed down to the top now.
Okay.
And then I told him he had to top you or Chris off with beans so that we could get the seed tender empty so you can start on the new variety.
He's down to 100,000 back there in the backfield of Dad's now.
He put him down 100,000?
Oh, I planted some in 65.
This year?
Yeah, we're gonna try it. I put some in 65.
Did you really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dad pulled smoke on all his. He did it all. He run anhydrous on all his beans, from what we saw. Now that's pretty drastic, but I mean we definitely turned it down.
Let's see what it does.
And blew smoke on it. I mean I know how to handle it now because I had to turn it around last year, so I know how to handle it.
Right.
I just gotta figure out the
Well, there's a difference between putting 150 pound anhydrous on a bean field and putting 40 pound anhydrous on.
Well, I think he ended up with 65 because he said he couldn't get the rate wouldn't stabilize. It wouldn't stabilize that low. It was jumping back and forth.
Right.
So I think he went up to 65 or maybe it was 80. I don't know. So I need to stimulate a response.
I think it's gonna work.
And everybody's always wants to point the finger everywhere else, but it normally starts with you.
Here we go.
This is a pretty special place to me.
All right, cool.
All right, let's go. I'm ready to go.
We'll get him loaded up with beans so he can get over here to you.
Yeah, what are the next ones?
Those are the 43s.
We got any Diamond Grove beans coming?
No.
I thought we did.
You did corn, not beans. You want to try a couple?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have any treated out there?
I don't, but I can get them treated first of the week.
Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool.
Which ones?
I gotta look see what I got, but I'll get you what I know does well.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
boss.
Yep. See you later.
Jeff is he's a hustler, man. No. I mean, an absolute hustler. He can work, put it out. But he's been a lot for us. I mean, he gets the work done. He knows I'm demanding. He knows I guess you want to say ignorant. And he's just as mean and ignorant as I am, so it works out really well. But I've worked really close with Nutrien for a long, long time. I'm so glad to see them on board because, to be honest with you, like Jeff Harris, he brought in a guy from Loveland, which was Drew Parker. Yep. Drew Parker worked for Loveland, was the micronutrient guy, and those guys were the ones that got me way over the hump that I'm on. That's all I've ever used was the Loveland product line, I mean, for the most part, and it's been fantastic to me. So if it wasn't for them, there's no way I'd be putting up 100 bushel beans here, not on this dirt. There's no way. I mean, it's just not even possible. But Loveland's got some pretty incredible products. The initial startup of us using In-furrow products with the micros and a bunch of the other stuff, that all stemmed because Jeff got the right people here. You know what I mean? That's Jeff's job. Yep. Jeff's job is to get the right people at the right place, at the right time, to make sure that my needs are facilitated.
Nah, I don't really ever call him the Podfather. I don't know if I ever will. But today is Saturday, the 16th of April. So we have until Monday. Monday there's supposed to be a rain about half an inch, I think. But right after that, there's supposed to be like a windstorm. It's blow like 20 to 30 mile an hour, and it's going to be very hot. So it shouldn't hold us up too long. Maybe just a day out of the field, hopefully. So the rig that we have behind me is called a turbo till. Around here on the Eastern Shore and really on the East Coast, not many farmers really run like heavy tillage equipment, like maybe cultivators or like big discs and all stuff. This is sort of similar to a disc, but it usually only runs like very, very light to prepare the final seed bed before the planter comes in and plants. So it only goes about 1 to 2 inches deep just to freshen the top of it up. And then behind that, we have the packer. One of the previous fields we put anhydrous in. I was just working in it. So we're prepping that one for, we're actually putting it in for beans, because last year whenever we accidentally put anhydrous on, it actually ended up doing very, very well unexpectedly. So now we're trying it again to see what the difference is between anhydrous beans and non-anhydrous beans. Corey Atlee was actually just here about a week or two ago for the agriculture day at, well, our place. Corey came to talk with Advanced Yield about like increasing yields and the chemicals they can use. And we also had Redwood come. They talked about grain marketing and how to sell it profitably. I don't know if I'm ever going to go visit him. Hopefully I will, and hopefully I will soon. Maybe whenever I'm out for school, like maybe after wheat and before, maybe after wheat harvest and like before sowing season, I can go out and visit him. He knows a lot about agriculture, more than my dad, that's for sure.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels. I'm very fortunate that I've been working with Concept Agritech now for 4 years. We have 12 Concept Agritech plots out right now. We feel like we're picking up some pretty good bushels.
Oh, here's one of their flagship products here. This is their Cowboy product. It's their calcium boron premix. They do have a great line of products here. Man, this is like drinking water. I think every crop needs a gallon or two of it. It's just, it does that much for you.
If there's anything above better half, I would say it even goes further, but yes, she is most definitely my better half. So we work together side by side when I'm not in the field.
For 31 years.
For 31 years. You know, they say behind every man is a great woman. And I would have to say that's one of the most true statements I've ever seen. I guess growing up in a farm family, she realized the value of the $100,000 tractor versus, you know, $10,000 worth of jewelry or something. So, you know, that there's a lot of people in my life that's made me successful at what I'm doing. She's at the top of that list. You know, Rob Devon's there, Lane's there, Billy Garner's there, Charles, Chris Golden, Chris Anderson. I could just keep going naming people that, you know, that's made us successful, that sacrifices their families for us. And she sacrificed a lot for me. Her dad had saved $10,000 for her to go to college on. And she ended up being able to go to college and not use that money. And so when didn't have the money to buy my first tractor, she took her CD and bought and paid the down payment down on her first tractor. So if that ain't faith, I don't guess there is any.
Love you. Trying to keep up with the times now, with programs within the trucking industry and within just accounting industry. It's very expensive. Most everything now has gone to monthly fees, and just trying to keep up. It's the old program that we used to keep our driver files is very obsolete. It's actually terrible, and this new one is amazing. It's all web-based. The other one, I still had to get an old CD from the company to do any type of updates. Now, that you tell me that's not old. Half the computers now, you can't even hardly, you know, sometimes they don't even have everything. Yeah, they don't even have a CD driver. I had to get them, you know, an external to be able to keep it. But definitely about everything we're doing now is web-based, and that has become a blessing. We really like that.
My name is Ryan Miles, and today we're here at Miles Farms. Here, I do all the trucking stuff. I'm going to start learning all the farming side of this operation, and hopefully Miss Sherry-Kay can pass that off to me pretty soon. We've gotten a new program, it's called My DOT. We use it to keep all of our drivers' information, their MVRs, physicals, everything that they have to have. And it's a super easy way for us to just make sure nothing expires and keep them all up to date.
Girl, you have got to try this tea. Caroline. Caroline introduced me to this the other day when I was in Maryland. Oh my gosh, I'm becoming a tea snob. Let me just say it, all the way. So you've got to try it. I got to get you drinking hot tea is what I got to do.
I can't get on the hot tea train. I'm not a tea snob.
Now then, what I do on a daily basis is more farm related. Every grain that comes out of our field gets paid. And to do that, I have to literally check every ticket off. This ticket here is the last ticket for 2021. Matt.
What?
Come here. Every grain has been paid for 2021. Last ticket.
Last one.
Last one.
Good deal. Now you can pay bills.
Now you can pay bills.
You did a great job.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. This is a real return on our investment. And when we went to these, we took an automatic increase all the way to 5,300 bushels an hour, which is incredible. Sometimes we don't have enough truck to keep up with what this combine can harvest. Used less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. It's second to none.
Hi, I'm Caroline Rhodes, and we're here in Queenstown today, actually on one of the farms that Temple rents. And I'm here with Jordan Wilmer.
I'm Jordan Wilmer.
One of our 6 kids.
I'm from Centerville, Maryland. I lived around here my whole life, grew up around here, I have family around here. I was probably about 13 years old. I had a friend, his dad was in the seed business, and I wanted to learn more and do more. So I was like kind of interested to kind of see like what went on, how it was done, what's all behind the scenes, behind everything, the business side of it and everything else. I started going to school after graduating high school. I decided to take on agriculture, but I did agribusiness management. So I went to Chesapeake for 2 years to get my associate's degree. And this May, I'll be graduating with my bachelor's degree from Penn State in agribusiness management. At the end of the day, I had to pursue my goals and dreams that I had with farming and agriculture. So that's why I decided to go to school. And I had an opportunity given to me from the Rhodes family to come on the farm, no experience, first time, which, you know, they're taking a leap of faith, taking me on with no experience to run equipment and do everything around the farm. And now I'm with Purdue Agribusiness, managing a grain mill for Purdue with corn, wheat, soybeans, and barley.
This is inoculant. We use In-furrow inoculant all the time. This is for every acre. This isn't Podfather stuff today. So what we're doing is just adding inoculant. We use PGRs on every acre as well. We use In-furrow. We use Radiate, nutrient. Been using this for, shit, Jeff, how many years we've been on Radiate?
Well, I've been here 7 years and the year before that, so.
Then we're gonna put in some fertilizer, a starter in the back. It's a 14-28-0. What else is in that, Jeff?
Accomplish.
Accomplish Max?
Just accomplish.
Just Accomplish. That's in that, and then what miners is in it?
Zinc.
Just zinc. And then we're gonna add a few other stuff. We're trying to increase the nutrient levels of phosphorus going in basically just trying to make it more efficient. And everything's more efficient when you put it in furrow. This is another one, this is Exalt. That's a Corey Atlee product. At some point, you also got to realize if you're on no-till and you got a 15-inch planter, there's no way you're getting that deep. You cannot get it that deep. You don't physically have enough pressure to get it that deep. I can't hold it. I can't hold it that depth. So I get to where I'm comfortable, where the planter's comfortable, where I'm comfortable. There's a happy medium where the planter can cover it, can continue to hold the right depth all the time. That's the most important, and try to lay in there, and try to lay in them. Because you get too deep and you get pushing it down there too hard, well then what you got? Then you got sidewall compaction. So you don't want that. So you got to be somewhere in between. I mean, the good part is we got copperheads, and it alleviates a lot of it. A lot of that's gone. I mean, it crumbles it right up. You know, if we put, I mean, what am I, 1.5 inches over there? If I ran 1.5 inches deep, and then I didn't have copperheads, and I had a rubber wheel and a steel wheel like we used to run years ago, and we had a ring, there is no way it's coming up. I can promise you, it is not coming up. So that's kind of what we do. Let me put them back. This might be a high yield plot, you just never know.
With the soybeans with Terramax, we brought it out and instantly, man, I just couldn't believe the nodulation we had so early. Look at that. That root, look how much nodulation is already on there. And you have these little peanuts all the way down here that deep in the soil, around the roots here. That's a very good start. If you haven't heard of them, you better get to know them because their products are here to play.
I'm very fortunate that I've been working with Concept Agritech now for 4 years. We have 12 Concept Agritech plots out right now. We feel like we're picking up some pretty good bushels.
Oh, here's one of their flagship products here. This is their Cowboy product. It's their calcium boron premix. They do have a great line of products here. Man, this is like drinking water. I think every crop needs a gallon or two of it. It's just, it does that much for you.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels. Go down here where we kind of, this was planted, what, a month later, Rob?
Yeah, this was planted.
This was planted just 7 or 8 days ago where the tile field, and then these were planted February the 18th. Somebody's been out here on a side-by-side and running my beans.
That'd be Regina.
Well, as long as it's Regina, that's good. I'm good with that. Where's Nate?
See, that one's real healthy.
Do what?
That's really coming out healthy.
Yeah, the new one.
Uh-huh. That'll be real
So
pretty.
check this out. There's 2 trifoliants off the cotyledonary leaves. There's a third right there with a whole lateral branch. Look where that's at.
It's right coming out of there.
Right coming out of the cotyledonary with a complete lateral branch right here. Plus here's another one here. There's actually two more there. Now these beans look like crap because of the wind damage. See, this is hail, wind. We had sandblasting for 2 or 3 days. But these beans were planted February the 18th. They've had 15 inches of rain since they were planted. I know of 2 days it got below 32, and they've had 1 3/4 inches snow on them. I was asked how early is too early, and I said, let's go see. So we planted 46 acres. But I mean, it's not just one. See the trifoliants coming out of here? You know, and right now they look crappy. Look at this one, same thing. Look at that lateral branch coming out of the cotyledon area. The 4 days we got to plant before this last rain, we had 25 to 35 mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it was blowing just sheets of sand down. So that's what happened to all these leaves here. The new trifoliate, and then we had bad thunderstorms and hail that done that. So, you know, our new one coming out's good. Now, my prediction is that there's a real good possibility that these are gonna stack and be short. You know, we all got kind of a bet going on, and we're hoping waist high. If we can get them waist high and stacking like this was a 100% research field. It was not even contention to be high yield. Now, this is my high yielding field most of the time. Did that come from the frost, you know, and the freeze and the plant saying, okay, we're dying, so let's go get something else out of there? Or is it varietal? Or is it some of the grocers you got underneath it? You know, some of the grocers you got on top of it. We've got, on this particular field, we've got heat shield and microcycle from Hefty underneath it. We got Preaxor from BASF, and we have some CCAT from Tiva. That's what's underneath them. Yeah, and sugar. And then over the top, so there's different stress mitigating products that they think help thicken the cell walls so it will kind of combat a frost. And before the last frost we had, we sprayed it about 30 hours before that frost to try to help keep the plant going, you know, and never did. It turned a little yellow, you know, I mean, you can see, you know, what it's been through, but kind of like when we were standing over in that growed up field full of weeds, this is the way it's supposed to look, okay? This is not the way it looked a while ago when we was going. But, you know, a month from now, let's see what these look like. I think they're gonna be really impressive.
I got them at about 38 inches, 22 nodes.
So it's a 4-1 planted early, which is kind of totally against the grain of what we're supposed to do. That's the cool thing about Podfathers and different ag organizations is, you know, being able to get out there and do some things that are not, you know, that are out of the box so we can see if they work. Now, would I recommend a guy to go plant his beans on February 28th? Probably not. If I can do this for 3 years, then I'll say, hey, I think you probably ought to maybe go try to do that. Now, they were in the ground 30 days. Those beans over here were in the ground, what, probably 7 to 10 days?
11 days old.
But if these were in the ground 30 days and you planted 15 days later and the beans come up in 15 days, they both come up at the same time. So you plant February 28th and they come up on March 28th. And you plant a bean on March 15th or 10th or 15th, and they come up on March 28th. Does the bean you planted in February have more underneath it than the bean that you planted in March? And that's the question. I'm not saying we were arguing about it, but he was saying, I finally figured out what he meant, that the longer this seed has been in the ground, the more time it's had to develop a root system. And actually the root system, look at the nodules already. Now, tell me that the Teramax ain't working. Those aren't, and then we probably pulled them off the ladder, but those are right up against the stem. That's where you want to see them. That's the big boys. That's the ones that's worth a lot of money right there.
Lots of nodules for me.